What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So we got some major news here for you guys in this video. President Donald Trump deploys 4,000 U.S. troops. That's right. We got some serious news for you guys here in this video. Also, President Zelensky from Ukraine and multiple world leaders meet on the potential truce and ending of the war after Russian President Putin just met with President Donald Trump, and well, we'll go over the details of that here in this video as well. Also, multiple different states are deploying National Guard in the United States. Wow. It is getting absolutely insane right now. What is going on here? What is going on? What is going on? It is absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to give you all the details here right now, and I'm going to let you see it for yourself right here on the screen. So let's jump right in. We are live right here on the YouTube It's Jimmy Show. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You can let me know your city, state, or even your country, as we have people tuning in here from all around the globe. Don't forget to hit that like button for me here. And if you haven't yet, subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future videos, and I will keep you up to date. Help me reach 500,000 subscribers by subscribing. It's completely free to do so. You guys are amazing. Over 230 million people have watched me on YouTube, bringing you guys the daily news that you guys need to know about. All right, take a look here. First up, multiple world leaders met at the White House here today, including Ukrainian President Zelensky. Take a listen at what they had to say here.
And we will come to a resolution today, I think, on almost everything, including probably the security. And that's pretty much the story. I'd like to say, Mr. President, would you like to say something? You have the media. If you want, you could come over and you could stand, you could use mine, or you could just turn around, whichever you feel comfortable with.
Thank you so much. I can speak without microphone.
Mark, as head of NATO, maybe you could say a few words, please.
Yes, I will be very brief. I really want to thank you, President of the United States, dear Donald, for the fact that you, as I said before, broke the deadlock, with President Putin by starting that dialogue. And I think it was in February that you had the first phone call, and from there we are now where we are today. And that is, I think, if we play this well, we could end this. And we have to end this. We have to stop the killing. We have to stop the destruction of Ukraine's infrastructure. It is a terrible war. So I'm really excited. And let's make the best out of today and make sure that from today onwards, we get this thing to an end as soon as possible. I really want to thank you for your leadership, what you are doing for Vladimir, but of course also all the European colleagues. It is really crucial. And the fact that you have said, I'm willing to participate in the security guarantees is a big step. It's really a breakthrough, and it makes all the difference. So also thank you for that.
Well, NATO also has agreed from 2% to 5%, which is something that is a massive amount of money. And it's 2% that wasn't always paid to 5% that is paid. That's a big difference. And so we appreciate that. That was a great move. Thank you very much. Ursula, maybe on behalf of the Commission, you could say a couple of words.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's a very important moment. Indeed, we are here, Europeans, as friends and allies. We had a fantastic NATO summit. Together as the trade deal ever.
That's right.
Agreed. And now we are here to work together with you on a just and lasting peace for Ukraine. Stop the killing. This is really our common interest, stop the killing. And indeed, it's very good to hear that we're working on the security guarantees, Article 5 lies security guarantees, so important. But I want to thank you also that you mentioned the thousands of Ukrainian children that have been abducted. And as a mother and grandmother, every single child has to go back to its family. This should be one of our main priorities also in these negotiations, to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine, to their families.
Yeah, so that last lady speaking was Ursula von der Leyen. She's the president of the European Commission, European Union. And you heard her say that 20,000 children have been taken from Ukraine by Putin, by Russia. and they hope to get them back. Again, let me know your thoughts on that, if that'll happen. But just a few days ago here, Trump said, quote, there would be very severe consequences for Putin if he refuses a ceasefire. Well, he did refuse a ceasefire. There has been no ceasefire. Do you think there will be very severe consequences for Putin? Yeah, so this is the problem here, is that Putin just continues to refuse ceasefires. He says there's not going to be a ceasefire, and we were just hoping to end the war. And it looks more and more likely that Ukraine is going to have to give up at least 15 to 20% of their land to Russia forever. This includes the minerals, the precious minerals, the oil, and the people that live on that land forever, including their children. And Putin will put those people in his army and become meat for the Putin army forever. This also comes here as Russia continues to just attack Ukraine even harder every day, as everybody says, aren't we looking for a ceasefire? Yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. Meanwhile, the U.S. deploys 4,000 troops, boots on the ground, to Latin America in an anti-cartel push. Yes, so you guys can see it right here. Yeah, in fact, take a listen here, and, well, here we go.
Ordering the deployment of air and naval forces to the southern Caribbean Sea in order to address threats from Latin American drug cartels. Reuters, the one bringing us this report, they say that 3 sources briefed them on the decision. President Trump has wanted to use the military to go after Latin American drug gangs that have been designated as global terrorist organizations. And Reuters says the Pentagon has been directed to prepare options. Nelson Bolito is the chairman of the Border Commerce and Security Council. He's here. He joins me. This is a headline that came across my plate on Thursday. I wanted to talk to you about this. I thought of you, Nelson, as soon as I read this. Before we get started, just lay out what we need to know about Latin American drug cartels. What is the issue, and why is the White House moving these pieces in such a way to focus on this issue?
Well, it's great to be with you this afternoon. Thanks for having me. So you have to look at where a lot of the drugs are stemming from. We know it's Central America, South America, but really we also know that a lot of it's coming in from China. So we have to protect our seas. And what I mean by that is what kind of transports are coming in, bringing fentanyl, a lot of these precursors, and then once they get manufactured or put together in some of these Latin American countries, including Mexico, how do they develop the way up to the United States? So it's about disrupting organized crime wholesale. And what I mean by that, this is not just seizing a drug lab. The idea is not just stopping more fentanyl pills at the border. Well, sure, that's tactical, but we need to have more of a strategic success. What kind of strategic success have we had since we did Plan Colombia and Pablo Escobar and disrupting the criminal gangs in Colombia almost 20 years ago when George Bush did that? That's the kind of action we need wholesale for this entire hemisphere to really combat and disrupt and destroy the criminal element and the criminal gangs. Before that, it's just going to be just here and there. So having the military power, Donald Trump sending these people down, our military down south into Central and South America certainly will help. But we have to do something on land. We must have to get the cooperation of the presidents and the congressional folks at these foreign countries and say, enough is enough. We need the help. Accept the help. We're willing to help you. And ultimately, we rid ourselves of the total problem that we've had of drugs and the human smuggling that's been plaguing the United States and this entire hemisphere for at least the last 5 to 10 years.
So one thing that stood out to me, I'm going to read a little bit of the reporting from Reuters. They say this process would be ongoing for several months, and the plan is for them to operate in international airspace and international waters. Is this a novel idea?
No, look, it's not a novel idea. We've always operated in many parts of the world in a very similar fashion, but you need to have the cooperation of those countries. If we don't, and this needs to be a combined effort. Can't be the United States only. We can't just go on sovereign land on our own. We need to have their help. So in shared intelligence, we need shared assets, and then ultimately we have to have those seizures and to take down the entire infrastructure of this criminal element. The only way that happens is working together with these countries, and Donald Trump's the guy to do it. We've seen what's happening in Alaska and these other places throughout the world. He needs to pressure these countries to help rid the criminal element. But we also know that, look, there's a lot of politicians are involved here. So a lot of politicians don't want to bend a knee because they also profit that they enable these kind of things. Those are the kind of things that we need to start routing out and using our State Department and our other assets to ensure that we have that cooperation and ultimately have that success that we need.
I'll tell you, one thing is for sure, President Donald Trump is being very proactive on these type of things. He's the exact opposite of President Biden, whether you're for that or against that, when it comes to things like immigration and border security and this type of stuff. Biden with open borders and stuff like that. Trump is the exact opposite when it comes to that. Now he's actually deploying military to actually go after assets like this. Let me know your thoughts here in the comment section. Are you for this? Are you against this? What are your thoughts on this? We will see what will come of this. Now, in addition to this, he's actually deploying more National Guard here in the United States as well. You see here, D.C. crackdown expands with National Guard to be deployed by 3 more states as well. If you guys have been watching my channel, you knew I reported this days ago that they were potentially looking to expand this. You can see the headline here. The states of West Virginia, South Carolina, and Ohio will deploy hundreds of National Guard troops to D.C. in the coming days. So, and also remember here that we reported that President Donald Trump may be looking to expand this to more areas as well, coming in the future, not just Washington, D.C., as we reported. So don't be surprised if that happens, okay? So after deploying National Guard to the Straits of Washington, D.C., Donald Trump's federal crackdown is moving into new phases. 3 more states, West Virginia, South Carolina, and Ohio, have said that they will deploy hundreds of National Guard troops to D.C. in the coming days. But crime prevention workers say the move will do little to prevent crime and address systematic cycles of violence and property crime. Anticipating a further rollout of controversial policy, Democratic cities are preparing for the worst, with mayors from Seattle to Baltimore vowing to protect their cities legally and otherwise, as we said, and in anticipation that this may also happen in other cities in the future, as there has been hints of that. So I will keep you up to date on that and everything happening here on a daily basis that you need to know about. So if you haven't yet, subscribe down below and click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live with new videos. And share this video with any friends or family that need to know about it, or share this video on social media so more people can get this important information. Click here to see why customers are boycotting Walmart, or this important video next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.